So I did a main shop tour video for BNR. I wanted to just do a quick one uh, about the Can-Am side, Smittybert, Rob Smith side, I guess, of things. So this is where I work. I don't know, all summer pretty much, and then also work a lot of weekends, spend a lot of late nights here because I do have another full-time job as a teacher, but this is my kind of second home. So it's the main shop. We have, a little showroom. We have the Raccoon Racing product stuff. Obviously, the Can-Am guys and the Polaris guys will see those wheels, know about the billet wheels that we built. I designed these rings, and work with that, design that whole wheel. Coming back here, we have some items from racing and pastime, and then this is my office. So my office is kind of like a, maker space, prototype, laser engraving kind of space. So we have a fiber laser, we have, laser engraved stuff, old stuff, whole shot awards, multiple ones there. My desk. So I usually keep this my main computer and then the backup one that has CNC stuff on it that I just leave here, and the one I take, additional monitors. Some of the old relics, Can-Am will give these out to the pro team guys every year, send a care package. So those are pretty neat. Different hats, stickers. You don't see those much, especially anymore. Some, we worked a lot with Kevin Yoho. I worked a lot on his heads and things like that. So pretty neat. The new 4x4 Pro-class. So this is when it first came out. We have all the guys that race with me in that class. Like I said, I'm the only one that's still racing the class. Obviously, I'm not where I used to be, but we have Mike Swift there in the center, and then myself there next to him, Jordan Phillips, Zach Zakowski, Rick Checo from Checo Racing, Brian Buchanan, his kids are racing now, and then Kevin Cunningham. So all these guys are basically retired from GMCC Racing. Jordan still races, some in the South. Zach still races, but he races trucks now. And then Buchanan and Checo, kids are at the races. And Swift and Trantham, they've raced last year or 2 years ago, something like that. So they've been around here and there. They're just not doing a full schedule anymore. So in my office, I have, look at different things that I've been working on, prototype things. That was whiteboards from whenever during COVID, teaching lessons and stuff. Some overall trophies, some U2 trophies. So before the 4x4 Pro, I raced Utility Unlimited, which was called the U2 class. 4x4 Rider of the Year trophy there. Probably one of my favorite pictures. That was the win, an overall win of Snowshoe in 2013. ECU desk. So this is where I kind of do my tuning and different things. We have a whole bunch of different ECUs and, do the bench flashing there. 3D printers. I have a couple here. Have some at home. So that's my main area, and then we'll go over to my second main home and area. So that's my office, and then we'll go to my work area. Turn some lights on in here. It's Sunday, so no one else is here besides me. This is my area, kind of the fab area. Let's get a light turned on over here. So it's kind of the fab area, welding table and stuff, little bandsaw, my toolbox, my Can-Am specialty parts and parts I've made. These are for like the STM stuff that I actually made, holder, things like those. Working on some aluminum fab stuff. That's more of the fab person, and then CNC machines. So my main focus is the Can-Am stuff and CNC stuff, head, seat guide work. That's my main focus. So this is kind of my main area outside my office right here. So we have a 5-axis 69 HP Rottler machine that we can digitize and port heads, plus use it as a regular CNC machine. Different fixture plates for different items that we work on, different heads, Can-Am, Yamaha, Kawasaki, things like that. Toolbox, this is my main CNC toolbox. Has, you know, extra collets, bits, all the bolts and stuff for fixturing, extra drills and boring bars and heads and things to set up. And this is where I usually cut out the seats. This is an old machine. I don't use it for anything but cutting the seats out because they're cheaper inserts and it's easier. I can feel when it starts to spin and you can stop it real quick. It's just more manual. You can manually feel it. So I use it just to cut out seats. So that's the only thing. You can use it. This is what they would use probably in the 80s, maybe something along those lines. It's an air float table, and it has the upgraded, you know, cutter with the inserts, but that's kind of an old school style way, but it works good for just for cutting seats out. I like it using it more manually, and doing the seats, cutting out the seats to replace them manually. And then this is my kind of corner over here too. We have the new one, CNC, to do the seat work. So this is where we do all of our seat cutting for the surface and the different angles. If you want to do 5 angles, 3 angles, radius jobs, anything along those lines. And then we have our flow bench, our vacuum checker, and the computer over here to put everything in order, and has some of our tools here. These are Can-Am heads, all been CNC ported. They are just waiting here so I can hopefully finish them off today with doing the valve job on them. And then these are some of my machines that I had at the farm and I brought in when we moved here. We had these at the farm, and along with a couple other ones, I kind of bought it expecting to build my own garage. And then we just we bought the new shop that we're in now. So it's about 12,000 square feet. So we had room for these. So brought them out of the barn and put them in service here, so we didn't have to take stuff home to the shop to do, you know, milling and lathe turning work. We did have another smaller lathe also, but we just replaced it with a CNC lathe. So this is what I've been working on probably the most the last week or so for setting this up. So it's new to us. It's about a year old. 4-position turret, call it Chuck. What else does it have? I think it has a 3,000 RPM spindle, hand wheel upgrade. So nicely spec'd, you know, TL. And we mainly do shock tubes. So I just set up this box the other day. So here's a shock tube that I cut apart so that way I could see. And what we're doing was we're cutting a groove, chamfering it on both sides, and then cutting a snap ring retaining. So I cut this one in half so I could do some measurement and some checks to make sure that it was everything I wanted. And then this needs to be set up, but it has some of the extra tooling for it. So that's my main area of working, is probably I spend most of my time in this kind of corner, and then tuning ECUs and staring at a computer do some of that too. Quad wise, I do have some ATVs here, some ATVs at home, some ATVs at the farm. So that's my 2020 machine. It needs a through shaft, so we need to take that apart, and obviously has some pieces stolen off of it, so need to fix that. I also have some Can-Am wheels, Can-Am takeoff stuff, and then we have, you know, more Can-Am wheels and stuff that needs to go on eBay. And takeoff parts, used parts, those type of things. Couple more quads. I have the quads that I raced a 9 hour, 10 hour, I don't know, a couple years ago. Still broken. I wrecked that. The one needs a power steering box, a radiator, a fan, A-arms, and probably a frame. I had a issue with it breaking a lower heim joint in the rocks, came off, and then I think it weakened the steering and broke the steering shaft and stuff on it. So good time. That's my 2016. It's actually a big motor ATV. So it has, you know, the ported, polished, high compression pistons, you know, some other secrets, maybe not so secrets, runs on oxygenated fuel. So those are just sitting here, need to be worked on it whenever I get some time. My 2023 machine, it needs the transmission pulled. I need to do some work on that also. Use them for testing and purposes and different stuff. And obviously they were my race bikes. And then the last machine that I have here, well, there's one in the trailer also. My 700 is in the trailer because it was at the E-Rock. So we use it as the E-Rock machine. This one is the one I've been racing currently. It does have the stock wheels and the bumper and the back rack put on it because it was at HMF, so they can get some pictures and put the exhaust on and do some dyno and testing with it. So that is my current machine I race. So that's kind of my areas.